Let's go on to Iceman v Sgnurf on pub, and we'll see what happens. That started faster than I thought it would. Okay. Hey Sage. Hello Vash. How's it going, you guys? We are discussing SpyParty, and I'm having fun with it. All right. Yeah. So pub 4-7. So you have to watch Purloin, you have to watch Swap, you have to watch Bug, and you generally have to be watching for other stuff. The thing about pub 4-7 is that I think it's very sniper favored, because the spy has to do 4 of these things, and there are only 10 party goers, right? And a lot of these things are very difficult to do. If the sniper is good at tracking Swap and Purloin, you're never doing either of them successfully. And we'll see if I'm good enough. All right. So 4-7. I'm not going to be able to look at chat for the next, 3 minutes or until this is done, so hello, everybody. Here we go. Something 1, 2-1. Gotta be very careful with Ambassador in that location. Statues are 2-1. Drink. Alright, so the bar has a fingerprint. So if anybody takes, a weird path to the bar. Okay, so Boots already has fingerprint and inspect. I'm also going to watch for a green swap. Alright, it's not a green swap. So Boots has a fingerprint. Green has a difficult fingerprint. Oh no, Boots has a difficult fingerprint. That's who took the drink. Alright, so Boots, Wheels... Boots, Wheels, Bling. I'm keeping track of who is at the bar, so I can see who purloins. No timeout has occurred. Boots, Wheels, Bling. Boots is just, hanging out. This is weird. She's been in the same, 2 square feet for the first minute. Alright, we're better now. No bug. Boots, Wheels, Bling. Twin has a fingerprint. There's banana bread. I have to be very twitchy on shooting Boots. I did not see how good of a stop that was by Twin. I have to be at this angle to guard against Bug. Boots, Wheels, Bling. If Ellis was the real DA, then a banana bread should have happened, so I'm pretty sure Taft is the real DA. Twin is following Boots. Wheels is potentially done with fingerprint if he had a green test on his thing. Alright, no purloin is possible at this point. It's too late to delegate. My highlights are the only people that have visited statues so far. Boots at the bar again. I'm just gonna light red. She hasn't done anything. Alright, so it's either Boots or Wheels. If it's Boots... Boots has a single fingerprint? Alright. I'm pausing. I'm also gonna mute the game. Alright. So, I'm gonna try to figure out who the spy is based on what I know right now. I know it's either Boots or Bling, right? Because Boots just did a direct purloin. No, Boots or Wheels, sorry. Boots just did a direct purloin, and I'm pretty sure that Wheels was the only person who could have delegated to her. So it has to be one of those two. Boots started with statue into fingerprint, which is super suspicious. She was my top suspect, and then she directly purloined, which is kind of a rare thing for spies to do. But she was also kind of short on time, so I'm not surprised she did it. Banana bread had not yet occurred. She had not gotten a second fingerprint, to my knowledge. I might have missed a second one, though. And if she did get a second fingerprint, she could have been done right there. So I would not have shot Boots yet. I was not yet suspicious enough of Boots to shoot her. I would have shot her as soon as she did like one more suspicious thing, but I would not have shot her before that. So I'm going to say it was likely Boots, but I'm not yet ready to shoot, and it could be Blaine. Or it could be Wheels. God, I keep forgetting. Wheels took a drink not too long ago, and he was next to Boots, so he could have delegated. All right, so now let's see who the actual spy was. It was Blaine. No, that's Twin. Is that Blaine or Twin? It's Twin. Okay, I'm stupid. So I was totally on the wrong track, but on the other hand, this spy was not even close to being done with missions. So it would have been really interesting to see that play out, because I was not on the right track at all. Alright, when was the delegate? Okay. I did see that he was in this conversation circle, I just didn't, like, consciously think, oh, he could be delegating. So yeah, that was a good delegation, because I completely missed it. I did not... Did I lowlight him? When on earth did I lowlight him? Oh, I lowlit him because I didn't think he could have delegated. Okay. And he tried to bug. Alright, that makes sense. That makes sense. In my defense, he was not going to finish missions. But yeah, so that was bad sniper play for me because I did not properly track delegation. I made an incorrect assumption about who could have delegated there. Because I knew that Wheels could have, I didn't think that Twin could have. At what time did he take the drink? 1:40. I don't think I saw him take this drink. Yeah, I did not see him take this drink. If I had, then he would have been on my list for possible delegators. But I didn't, and that is my own damn fault. So, yeah. I probably would have lost this game, but if I was super patient, maybe I could have just let the timer run out. I'm not sure who would have won, but I was unlikely to win. Okay. That's acceptable. Alright, let us now look at the spy play. And yeah, in this replay, all of these lowlights and highlights are what the actual sniper did. My lowlights and highlights are not recoverable. Like, you don't get replays of your replays. It was a very long delegate, but I still should have seen him at the bar. I still should have seen him at the bar. Actually, as an exercise, when did Wheels visit the bar? Like, was it too late? Because the actual purloin happened at 48. And Wheels was at the bar at 2:40. Okay, so I was completely wrong. Because Wheels never visited the bar again. Yeah, Wheels was the only person that had been to the bar within the time frame required for a delegation. So I was wrong on that count as well. It literally could not have been Wheels. And yeah, practicing against replays is really, really good. It's a very good habit to get into. Alright. So let's go through spy play. Let's also read chat. Alright. Sits in AI control, very quickly gets dumped at an idle convo. He walks out of it to another idle convo. Interesting. It's interesting that he actually followed red here, because this is a useless conversation. If he walks into the empty conversation, then he gets to leave earlier, because NPCs will leave idle conversations pretty quickly. But in this case, he walks to a useless conversation, which means he has to stay longer to be not as suspicious. So walking to this conversation right there forced him to play pretty slowly, because he can't leave this conversation for like 20 or 30 seconds after he enters it without looking suspicious. And in fact, he waits even longer than he needs to, I think. I don't like this start. I don't like not doing anything for the first minute of the game. That's just generally a bad idea. Yeah, non-player character. Like, literally a character who is not the player. Is what I mean by NPC. I should also probably put up chat for this. I think I will, actually. I mean, I think I have it set up. Yeah, alright. So, sorry YouTube for... Actually, let's move that up. I think that that's gonna look okay. I think that'll be acceptable. Alright. So now we have chat on screen. Yay! Onwards. It did look like he was chasing red, I'll admit. So, like, I'm fine with a highlight for that. Like, I'm not going to highlight for that, but I'm going to remember it. If I notice it. And I didn't notice it that game. He goes for a fingerprint, which is fine. It's kind of a slow mission to do, given how much time you have left, but I still think it's okay. He also did not stop correctly. So I said this while sniping. I did not notice if he stopped returning the briefcase correctly, and in fact, he didn't. Right? So as a sniper, here's what you need to be looking for on a briefcase return. Watch the ambassador and watch Iceman. Alright, so there was about a delay of 1 full second before Iceman stopped. So the way briefcase works in this case is that as soon as the ambassador starts moving, which is right here, right? See the ambassador like twitch? At that exact moment, Iceman, according to proper AI behavior, should stop in his tracks. But instead, he walks until he gets to there, right? So, like, ambassador starts moving at 202.8, 0.7, and Iceman stops moving at 201. 1.5 seconds. That's pretty bad, right? When you are returning the briefcase, what you should do is just have your view on the ambassador and be laser focused on them. And as soon as they start moving, you need to stop moving. So his mistake here is that when he is picking up the briefcase, he's not looking at the ambassador, right? He's just like, the ambassador is somewhere in the bar, I'm not going to worry about it. And it takes him a while to notice that she started moving. So he should have been more on top of that and more ready to stop. It's not a huge mistake and is very rarely going to get you shot. But if there's a very attentive sniper, they're going to catch that. I still like the decision to do the briefcase. I think you have plenty of time to do it. You just have to be pretty quick with the rest of your missions. Walks to the bar, gets a drink. Probably planning on delegating because that's a reasonably quick mission. Like, it doesn't take too much of your time. And it is something that he needs to get done because he's so short on missions. Like, he's not going to get seduction done, I don't think. He's very short on time to get seduction done, especially on pub where it's tough to get that sort of thing done. He still goes for it, which is fine. But he definitely needs a plan. I'm guessing his plan is seduce, inspect, purloin, fingerprint. Which is okay. You can't really guarantee that you're going to be able to get fingerprint though, but in that case you have swap as a backup, so I'm okay with that plan. I am okay with that plan. Hello, Zach. That's true, Bacon. I'll actually go back to that. So it is true that AIs have a sort of field of view. So like at this point, his character cannot see the ambassador, so NPCs will not react to the ambassador moving. But at this point, he should notice, right? As soon as he rounds this corner, ambassador does come into his view, and he should stop. And he still takes an extra second to do so. So I wasn't quite correct in that he shouldn't just stopped moving right here. He should have stopped moving right here. Still took too long. Alright, so it picks up the delegate, goes ahead and does a white seduce. And then he delegates. I think that's alright. I don't mind it. He also gulps his drink. He gulps his drink, list disappears because Boots takes it. He's also looking very carefully at the sniper, which is a good idea, right? Like, when you're doing something really suspicious, like delegating a purloin, it's very important to look at the laser to see how the sniper reacts, right? Because if he's paying attention to that, he should see that the laser is on him, right here, and it's on wheels right there, right? He should literally see who gets high lit, who gets low lit, just based on where the laser goes. And if the laser does not react, you can kind of assume that he hasn't seen it yet. Kind of tough. So at this point, I think he should assume that he's under suspicion, but he should also still try to complete missions because I don't think it's at the point where you give up yet. And he does attempt a bug, which I'm not too opposed to, but he messes it up pretty bad because he gets seen and the bug doesn't even take. I think what would have been better is if he walks next to the ambassador but doesn't bug. And then, God, like what missions do you do at this point? You don't have enough time to do seduce. You can do fingerprint by sitting next to the ambassador, waiting for them to walk away, and then grabbing a briefcase, but that kind of takes a while. And then I guess you can inspect swap. Like the main problem with this game is just he slow played too much, right? Like here, a third of the way through the game, he had done nothing. When you do nothing, you have to do a lot of things very quickly, and that's very difficult to do on pub because it's a very large map. Right? Like, he can't even banana bread because double agent is not in a conversation circle, which is super common on this map, right? Banana bread on regular pub is like the most difficult banana bread to get. So I'm not really happy with this play just because he tried to slow play too much, right? If you're at a minute in and haven't done anything, you've made a mistake. And yeah, it's like, don't just ignore briefcases if you're starting out. Briefcase AI is so difficult to learn. It's an important thing to learn, but don't like shoot for it. Even if you see this, don't shoot the guy. Be slightly more suspicious of him, but don't shoot him. It's a bad idea. Alright, let's move on to the other pub game. Why does this start immediately? Thank you. Alright. Alright. Let's go again. Hey, Magician. 3-1. There were a lot of possible bugs in there, but I don't think anybody did them. Bling is taking a drink. 3-1. Bling General. General's taking his drink. Oh, timeout just happens. Pretty sure white just time added. Definitely could not have been those two. Alright, so I'm almost certain that white time added, but I'm not going to shoot her. And the reason is I don't have to. I could just be wrong about who time added, in which case it's really stupid to shoot, right? I can literally just watch her for the next 3.5 minutes, and as soon as she can be done with 4 missions, I shoot her. And that's just strictly better than shooting her now. So let's see what she does. Whoa, Bling took a drink not too long ago, and now he's at a statue. Which makes me suspect that he gulped. So again, I could just be wrong about who time added. Stays for only a single cycle. Gotta watch for the bug. No bug. Green has a drink. Bling is grabbing suitcase. At this point, I'm actually pretty suspicious I was wrong about the bug. Because white hasn't done anything and Bling has. General is taking a second drink. No purloin. Bling with a second briefcase. So Bling is done with fingerprint. And he's done with statue. And I think that was too early a stop for statue, but I'm not actually certain. Grabbing another drink. So he's on with 2 missions. Yeah, this one I'm certain it's not white, because she just hasn't done anything. And if she was white, I would have expected a banana bread by now, if that was the real DA. So I'll be watching Bling very closely. No bug. Ambassador took a drink. Secret statue, 3-1. At the bar again. I don't know what Bling is doing. I almost expected direct Purloin, but that would be a really bad move. Because he hasn't been in a conversation. Oh, took a drink. White actually could have bugged while I wasn't watching. Alright, that's fair. So, when he banana breaded, there were 2 people that could have banana breaded. Which makes it a really bad banana bread, right? Like, banana bread goes off here. And going to free camera. It could be general or sick. Or literally no one else. So I was on completely the wrong track the entire time. But by doing this banana bread, I get to shoot him, right? It's one of these two, and he's the one talking, and he's the one that's been to statue. I still wouldn't have shot quite that quickly. But it's impossible for the sniper to lose the game when you do this banana bread unless you're literally done and the sniper is super trigger shy. So this banana bread is just flat out terrible, right? There are literally 2 people it can be when you do this banana bread. And you're the one that's been to statues, and you're the person that's speaking during the BB. So this is really bad, right? I should have lost that game. Actually, no. I mean, he hadn't done missions yet, right? He still needed another hardtail. Actually, I'm wondering if he intended to bug. I mean, banana bread is just so bad that I'm assuming he intended to do a convo bug and just missed the input, right? Because doing an in-convo bug is not that bad here. Because, like, there is some stuff happening, like your ST is at the statue, dude's taking a drink, there's a lot of stuff in this conversation, White is walking. Like, an in-convo bug ain't the worst here. It ain't great, but it ain't the worst. But banana bread is just terrible. I'm going to go through this very quickly, because I'm not sure we're going to see much that's worth talking about. Let's just do double speed. So he does a time ad, which is okay, I guess, but it's still let me narrow it down a bunch. Talk some useless conversation. Ooh, interesting. So when walking to this conversation, he stopped moving for a moment. And then he got in. Walking into small, like, the conversation circles on regular pub are smaller than normal, so pathing around them and figuring out where you can fit in is actually really tough to do. And it got him in trouble here. Right? Like, it got him a highlight because he stumbled like that. Right? Purely because of this right here. He got highlight. And that really sucks for him, right? That's just a pathing mistake. It's not too bad. He also talked very quickly upon entering, which is good for him because the seduction target literally left as soon as he started talking, but he still got it off, which I guess was fine. The main problem I have with his play so far is that he did nothing for 45 seconds, but he also time added, right? Like, the whole point of not doing anything is to be less suspicious. But the time ad was a literal hard tell, right? So you do a hard tell to buy you the time needed to do something unsuspicious. It's not a good trade, right? You are on average going to earn more suspicion for doing a time ad than you are going to lose from not doing anything for 45 seconds. So it's better just to do things than to time ad and then not do things. Which is a very common mistake for new players, right? Like, if you're a new player, just, like, divide the amount of time you have left by the number of missions you need to do, and then complete one mission every 45 seconds or however much it is, right? and just stick to that. There are going to be so many times where you're tempted to just sit still for a minute because you don't know what to do and you don't want to look suspicious, but you have to do things to win, right? If you're debating between doing things and not doing things, do things. Just do them. It's almost always going to be better for you. Alright, so Banana Bread is contacting the double agent. So you say the words Banana Bread while in a conversation with the double agent, which is this girl down here. And by doing so, that completes a mission. But the sniper knows that the spy must be in a conversation circle at the time Banana Bread happens, so it still lets the sniper narrow things down. So it's a trade-off. This game is amazing, please buy it. That is my recommendation to you. I feel like you should have delegated. Not because it would be good to delegate here, but mostly because you're halfway through your time and you've completed 0 missions. And that's terrible. Sgnurf's problem is that he's not doing things. He does do something really good here by picking up a fingerprintable statue, right? That's a good thing. It's very good that he's doing things here, because he's completing 1.5 missions just by visiting the statue. He also makes a very, very big micro mistake by picking up the statue, and then putting down the statue, and then picking up a statue, which AIs will literally never do. So he pressed the wrong button, and that's very unfortunate for him. Oh, it was also a difficult fingerprint. Interesting, interesting. So, I'm making an assumption here, but I'm pretty sure that the sniper, like, is about to shoot him, which he indicates by literally taking off the safety on him. But in the end decides not to because he's confident that Sgnurf cannot yet be done with missions. And he's correct about that, so it's actually very good sniper play, right? You should always be very cognizant of how many missions your top suspect can be done with, right? Like, basically, my condition for shooting is this. Either I'm 100% certain that it's them, literally 100%, or they are my top suspect, and I believe that they can be done with all of their missions. And as soon as one of those things is true, shoot, right? If you're like 95% certain it's them, but you're confident they can only be done with 3 missions and not 4, don't shoot. Just don't shoot. You have to be very confident, and it's very important to track how many missions people can be done with. But you don't have to shoot until they are literally done with their missions and the mission win countdown is going. That said, this is a fine shot because you're super suspicious of him, and he's one of 2 suspects because you just banana breaded at a terrible time. So there you go. Also, yeah, that's true, Canadian. It was a difficult fingerprint because he smudged it. So, the ambassador... Alright, we'll explain this super fast. So the way fingerprint works is the ambassador touched this statue and then put it down. So if the spy picks up the statue, he gets a fingerprint off of it. And once you get 2 fingerprints, then you complete the fingerprint ambassador mission. But if you are the second person to touch the statue after the ambassador, then you have to complete a difficult action test to actually get the fingerprint. So by picking it up, and then putting it down, and then picking it up, he turns it into a difficult fingerprint, which is just the most unfortunate thing ever. So that was a very major micro mistake. And then a very major decision-making mistake when he banana breaded at that time.